Zika virus wreaks havoc across the globe with the first confirmed case to hit the U.S. A Bangladesh clothing factory goes up in flames, injuring several people and raises fears about workplace safety. And another Canadian company is taken over by an American corporation. Lowe's buys out RONA for over $3 billion.
Hi and welcome to Humber News. I'm Ryan Durgy, coming to you from our newsroom here at Humber College North Campus. The first known case of the Zika virus has been confirmed in Texas, and officials are saying it's sexually transmitted. The virus linked to birth defects has been rapidly spreading throughout Central and South America. Health officials say the U.S. case was likely contracted through sex with someone who traveled to Venezuela. But they say more information is needed to confirm that Zika can be transmitted through sexual contact.
With Zika, we don't know exactly how long someone can remain infectious, but in this case, as we understand it, someone had just gotten sick with Zika, and that individual's sexual partner then developed Zika without a travel history. The CDC laboratory confirmed that both individuals do have recent Zika infection.
The development will be discussed at today's World Health Organization meeting. The American Red Cross is asking donors to hold off on giving blood for 28 days if they've traveled to countries infected by the virus. A huge fire at a clothing factory in Bangladesh is sounding the alarm on workplace safety again. 4 people were injured in the latest accident. The fire started in the early hours of the morning before most of the 6,000 employees started work. The factory supplies clothing for H&M and JCPenney. The fire is renewing questions about the country's garment industry. The country suffered its worst industrial disaster in 2013. 1,000 people were killed when the RONA Plaza building collapsed. Flights were grounded across Pakistan today after 2 employees of the national airline were killed during a protest. 2 people were killed and 8 injured when police used water cannons, tear gas, and gunfire to disperse the crowds. Employees are protesting a government plan to privatize the airline. Meanwhile, passengers were stranded at Karachi Airport as most domestic and international PIA flights were canceled. South Korea's military is on high alert after North Korea announced plans to launch a satellite believed to be a long-range missile. South Korea says the country's military is closely monitoring the situation using a combination of U.S. and South Korean surveillance assets. Japan has also condemned the launch, threatening military action if it takes place. North Korea caused a huge controversy in 2012 when it launched a long-range missile. The country says it plans to send the satellite into orbit as early as next week. New video today of a dramatic rescue of migrants from Greek waters. The Italian Coast Guard rescued 11 migrants making the journey from Turkey to Greece. Earlier in the day, another 70 were saved by Turkey's Coast Guard. Greece has become a primary gateway for almost 1 million migrants a year into Europe. Meanwhile, the border between Greece and Macedonia is still closed to migrants, creating chaos for anyone stranded there. A disabled freighter off the French coast has finally been towed to Spain. It had been drifting on its side for over a week. The freighter was carrying wood and construction machinery from Africa. The crew had to be rescued by helicopter. Officials were concerned that if they weren't able to tow the ship, it would have crashed into the French shore. Officials also say the ship tilted because the cargo shifted in heavy seas. So far, there's been no sign of fuel leaking. Here at home, in a big economic shakeup, RONA will be undergoing some renovations. The Quebec-based company improvement store is being taken over by its competitor Lowe's in a $3.2 billion deal. Lowe's currently has 42 stores in Canada. The takeover of RONA will increase its presence north of the border. RONA employees say they're surprised about this morning's news. One worker told Humber News he heard about the Lowe's takeover through a text at 7 this morning. Meanwhile, Home Depot has announced a plan to hire 6,000 part-time workers in Canada. The Ontario government is getting ready to start building a new light rail transit line. And the best news is that it will come to Humber's North Campus. Nick Westall has the details.
It's out with the old.
Light rail can carry more passengers than streetcars or buses.
And in with the new. Metrolinx, the provincial transportation agency, is moving ahead with the new Finch West Light Rail Transit project. The new 18-stop line will connect Humber College to the new Spadina subway extension along a dedicated route on Finch Avenue through a number of North Toronto neighborhoods. Jamie Robinson with Metrolinx says the new system is different from existing streetcars.
Most significant difference, we're in a dedicated right-of-way. Streetcars, basically along St. Clair, for example, they're stopping every half a block or something like that. Our stop spacing is quite a bit more than that.
Robinson says travel times along Finch could be cut by as much as 20%. Scott Bowers is the technical lead on the project, and he explains what the system will look like once it comes to the Humber area.
As we approach Highway 27, we're going to go below ground. It will cross under Humber College Boulevard here at the intersection, and the new station stop will be just between Humber College Boulevard, the south end, as well as a new entrance road.
So planning for this project has been going on for years, but the real question is, what will this mean for Humber students and faculty?
It means that more people can come. The people that are already coming have another way to get here. The complaints that I get are mostly, how often buses travel from wherever they're coming from to campus.
Humber's sustainability manager, Lindsay Walker, says approximately 70% of students take transit to the college, and many can't wait for the new service to begin. Construction is scheduled to start in 2017 and should be finished by 2021. Nick Westall, Humber News.
The Oscars aren't the only awards this season causing controversy. Canadian musicians are celebrating their Juno nominations, but not many of them are women. The nominees for this year's Junos range from Toronto's own Drake to Justin Bieber and R&B star The Weeknd, but no women were nominated for this year's Best Album, Artist, Rock Album, Rap Recording, or Dance Recording either. Canadian indie darling Amy Millan took to Twitter and started the hashtag JUNOSSOMALE, inspired by the viral Oscars So White hashtag. This year's Junos take place in Calgary on April 3rd. We're going to take a look at the weather in a minute, but while we get warmer than usual temperatures, our unlucky friends in the Midwest United States are in the midst of a severe snowstorm. A huge blizzard hit parts of Michigan and Minnesota. The Minnesota State Patrol reported hundreds of crashes because of poor visibility. High winds hammered the region and caused whiteouts from blowing snow. When we come back, we'll tell you what's happening in the world of sports, and Kitty Jones will have your 3-day forecast.
Well, it seems that our furry friend might have gotten it wrong this year. Groundhog Wireton Willie predicted that Ontario would be expecting 6 more weeks of winter. But with a record high of 14 degrees in February, I think our furry friend was a little confused. I'll have your full forecast today at 2.
First, here's a video we can all relate to. Seems a night of tossing and turning isn't limited to humans. After a long day of catching fish and trying to evade killer whales, this poor seal just can't get to sleep. He closes his eyes. He wakes up, he tries to get settled, he wakes up. Poor thing, I know just how he feels.